Hey, this is Nick again with my Bobcat CT1025. So I'm doing another review, video number 2.0. I've spent quite a bit of time running this tractor now. I'm up to 40 hours. And I've seen a lot of people interested in the belly mower review. So I wanted to follow up with it because there's not really any good information out there. The dealerships aren't really able to help me. Bobcat has kind of left me stranded for the most part, other than telling me something's got to be wrong. So that being said, I've spent a lot of time fiddling with it. So again, this is the Bobcat CT1025, and this is my M60 mower deck. This is what it looks like when the mower deck's taken off of the riding lawn, or the tractor, I should say. You can see the PTO shafts hanging there, and then you have your front clips that are hanging there. It's got a pretty good size industrial belt to it. The first thing we'll look at is, if you looked at my previous videos, you could see the anti-scalp wheels. I could never figure these stupid things out. Well, key concept of a lot of time fiddling with this. So I kept calling the dealership and they were pretty much unable to help me with anything, but they were able to tell me that my mower deck should have came with a manual. So I got a manual from the dealership and I started thumbing through it. So this manual was not very helpful in my opinion. I spent time trying to figure it out and I couldn't really figure it out because the manual was based off of what appears to be the 2008 version of Bobcat's mower deck. So there's not really good pictures because since 2008, the manual actually changed because the mower deck configuration changed. Thank you, Bobcat. That was a great help. So now I'm trying to figure out this mower deck and how it's set up. So I looked online at as many videos as I could, and Bobcat doesn't actually tell you how this thing's supposed to come on and off. So your guess was as good as mine. So I was gonna make a video of me putting the mower deck on and taking the mower deck off now that I figured out how, but I have to have my significant other hold the camera. So I will tell you some tidbits and you can await my next video of how to properly / improperly install, take on, take off the deck. So the first thing is this is a drive over deck. So you can see everything's pretty well built there to drive over. Now the manual says to, I believe, engage the 4-wheel drive to drive over this mower deck. You want to keep these wheels pointed in this direction. There's a bunch of different pins so the mower deck won't roll out from underneath you. And then these are your, what I consider to be your anti-scalp wheel adjustment bolt holes. So I haven't figured out any real mathematical or systematic way to adjust the mower deck, to be quite honest still. I'm still kind of guessing and checking. But when I got the mower deck, you could see these spacers on the front wheels. The spacers are supposed to be used, but the manual doesn't really tell you how to use them. So I ended up on Bobcat's website watching a couple of the cheesy videos with people mowing their lawns. And it looked like there was a certain 2-pin or 2 spacers down or a spacer and a half down with a certain pin adjustment. And I ended up having to play with the spacers. But the problem is you have to put the spacer in between this wheel and right here, the actual mower deck. So now with the spacers off in this mower deck sitting on the ground, how the heck do you get this 7-inch tall wheel assembly out to slide the spacers under? Well, the Bobcat manual doesn't really tell you how. I spent some time trying to figure it out. I talked to a couple different Bobcat dealerships. One said, hey, maybe you need to drive that lawnmower or drive that tractor up a set of ramps after you get the mower deck on, or maybe you need to jack up the front end. Well, what I came to conclude is probably because of liability reasons. They don't really want to tell you, but it appeared that if I used my front end loader, slash not all these come with front end loaders. If you use your front end loader and you tilt your bucket up, you can lift the front end enough up to slide this whole wheel assembly out and ultimately make your necessary adjustments. But if you don't have the front end loader, good luck adjusting these anti-scalp wheels, because you're going to end up having to lift the front axle, jack it up, make your bushing adjustments, and these are the bushings that I'm talking about, to get everything to work really well. If not, you just kind of have a mower deck dangling there and you don't get really a level mow at all. So in hindsight, look at the manual, but don't expect a lot from the manual. And then you're going to end up having to play around with your anti-scalp wheels. These pins are pretty easy to lock in the tractor to the mower deck. Once you get the system down, I would say it probably takes less than 5 minutes for an on and off. I have found with that front end loader on this, when I'm mowing, it becomes pretty miserable because there's no weight on the back unless you put a ballast box. I talked to another tractor shop about adding beet juice to the tractor rear tires, and they said it was pretty reasonably priced. However, you're only going to get like 50 pounds out of it, but every little bit helps. I would also encourage, if you're looking at buying one of these Bobcat tractors, since Bobcat's website is kind of horrible, to go on Facebook. There's I think 4 or 5 groups with people talking about their Bobcat tractors and their experiences with them. But there is a manual. It's not the best, but it will give you something. And at some point, I will try to get a video of me hooking up the Bobcat tractor to the mower deck. Hope this video helps and kind of gives you guys some insight. Again, at this point, I'm definitely a little bit happier being able to figure out how these anti-scalp wheels work and seeing the quality of lawn I'm able to get now. It's way better than it was on the first video, but I'm still, again, fiddling with it. There's also another YouTuber out there. I think it's called Goodworks Tractors. He's a tractor guy for John Deere. I would encourage you to watch his videos if you're looking at getting one of these tractors and belly mowers. He kind of lays out some common mistakes that you run into with the belly mowers, and although it's John Deere, I use some of the fundamental knowledge that he put on his YouTube about belly mowers to figure out how to get mine all set up. So I hope this helps. Sorry, it was kind of a long video.